with this lesson, I thought we'd just go through some of the basics of playing guitar in terms of playing chords, getting over things like bar chords, and just some general elements to get you started playing guitar that might be sort of difficult and annoying when you're starting out, when things don't seem as easy as they may be. So one thing I'll look at first is just getting used to playing some chords that might be difficult. So for example, you might be used to playing, say, open string chords, as we might call them, like D, C, and G, and so forth. But then when it comes to other chords that might be difficult, a lot of beginners do find, say, the F bar chord to be quite hard. You can also play a 4-string version of the F chord, the F major chord this is, just starting on the D string, doing this pattern. But then again, it can be hard for some people to sort of get the strength to play this chord. So the trick to playing this F chord is start it off bit by bit, string by string in a sense. So the first trick here is basically using the first finger to bar, as I say, to cover 2 strings here, the high E and the B string there. So just try and get those 2 strings ringing out nicely with this one finger down. Then add in the second finger here to the 2nd fret on the G string, and then just try and get those 3 strings to ring out nicely. The trick here is that my first finger here stays flat while this 2nd finger is actually quite bent as you go over it. So you can sort of see from that angle hopefully what's happening. Yeah. Then the other finger here is the ring finger on the 3rd fret on the D string, playing off all 4 strings here. And again, the trick here is that the first finger remains flat to cover these B and E string, so it's playing a C note and an F note, and then these other 2 fingers here are quite bent, so they've got all 4 strings out, and my little finger is tucked out of the way here as well, so hopefully you can see that, to sort of make things a little bit clear and easy. So the trick is to try and avoid having everything lying down and getting in the way, and you have to place a reasonable amount of pressure on each string to make sure that they all ring out clearly. So just work on it bit by bit, 1 finger at a time, until you get a good sound here. One thing too that I do find for some of these sort of chords is that you notice that at the back of the neck here, my hand is quite close to the palm, is sort of resting on the back to sort of brace, give something to push against as we're playing this chord. Versus, say, if I'm playing an F bar chord, I will actually move my hand down like this to have my thumb on the back of the neck to play in that position. So your hand does move around a bit on the back of the neck depending on what chord you're playing. A lot of the sort of various chords will sort of change how your, especially the bar chords, will change how your hands are moved on the back there. So the next step going from that F chord is to play a bar chord. There is the F bar chord, which is like so. It can be a bit hard to sort of play down here, so I might recommend it's good to start off trying to work on bar chords, say up at about the 5th fret here, which is be an A major bar chord. So the good way of starting with this is to try and develop the strength, just barring with the 1 finger and your thumb behind the neck, again like so. Where I'm just doing that and just getting the strength there, make sure that every single string is ringing out nice and clean. It does take a bit of pressure to get this going, and then the next trick here, or the next step, is to add onto the G string here on the 6th fret, adding the 2nd finger, and then the little finger then adds to the 7th fret. This is from the E major pattern, 7th fret here. Basically add the little finger, and then on the D string, and then the 7th fret again on the A string. Now I'm adding the ring finger to end up with this chord, and that's what you end up with the bar chord. And it does take a bit of strength, and again just emphasising, sort of bracing with your thumb behind the neck there, and pressure to actually make sure everything, if you let off, it's obviously not going to sound nice and clear. And basically the good thing though, once you get a bar chord down, is that you can shift it down to A flat, G, F sharp or G flat, all the way down to an F as well, so you can sort of shift things up and down relatively easily. So that's an A major bar chord, which can also be shifted in there to be an F. It's a bit harder though down here than that, which is this section of the guitar, to place the pressure on. So I recommend it's a bit easier to try and start it here on the 5th fret, because there's a bit less sort of pressure basically working against you in the middle of the strings here from the length from the nut. So that's basically how you can work on sort of building up your strength for basic bar chords.